Welcome back, everyone. This is Thomas Triple T Tie with another new bullish crypto analysis. Before we dig in and take a look at the market, I know it's a little late, but there were things I had to get taken care of early in the morning and afternoon. But we're going to do it anyways because Bitcoin crypto opens 24/7 and the market does impact it, even though the market's closed right now in the US. But we can review it. Um, Remember, this is for edutainment only and not to be considered as financial advice. Additionally, when you feel value has been added, please smash the like, ring my bell, and hit subscribe if you haven't, and share your thoughts in the comments section. And also share my analysis with friends and family so they can learn to invest in crypto and get additional perspectives about the equities market. All right, let's dive into the news first, and then we'll take a look at the charts. Elon Musk continues to dominate the headlines. As you know, Elon is trying to buy out Twitter. The board rejected him and then implemented a poison pill. And so Elon is also facing shareholders' lawsuit in court. And the judge recently, last week, ruled that his tweet on taking having the money to take the private Tesla company private last year was oh no, it wasn't last year. It was 2000. What was it? 2018 or something like that. Anyways, back then was false and it was incorrect. Anyways, he's facing challenges there, and then. On top of all that, and running several companies, Biden's DOJ and SEC reportedly launching probes targeting him. When you are the richest man in the world and you are a bit vocal, people come after you. Man, he's got his plates full for sure. Goldman Sachs sees U.S. recession at about just above a third chance of in the next 2 years. They put it at around 35%. I think I forget which bank it was, but someone else put it roughly around the same mark. Global NFT trading volume grows to over 200% in 2022. Surpassing $50 billion. This is according to an article in Finbold. I think so many of the NFTs that are being sold are just worthless JPEGs. But you know what? If people want to buy them, that's great. Quote, I'm going to put this guy around quote. DeFi Godfather, put him in quotes, Andre Collinger, says crypto is dead. Well, I don't think it's dead. It's still growing by leaps and bounds. We are in a correction, but I don't know who coined him the the DeFi Godfather, but I wish him luck. And in a few years, and he'll still be saying crypto is dead and it's still around. Okay. Now there was an article in Fortune. They talked about Bitcoin has an interest rate problem. Central banks raise interest. Investors are turning away from crypto. Basically, they're saying that the volume, aggregate volume across multiple exchanges, is dropping since August of 2021. And at the same time, we also see that long-term holders and Bitcoin being withdrawn from the exchanges, and they're at their all-time low, the number of Bitcoins on exchanges. But overall, they're seeing volume across the board is dropping. And that's not a surprise. I've talked about this as far as the CVD is concerned. I haven't done that in a while as far as like the perpetual futures, and then looking at CVD on that chart there. But yeah, it's been dropping. Actually, it's been dropping since April of 2021. So yeah, it is what it is. We're in a bearish market. We'll get out of it. Oh, this article pissed me off. You know how unless you have been living under a rock or in a cave somewhere, inflation is quite high, and 8.5 is not even the real inflation rate. Real inflation rate is probably take that multiply by 3, and that's what real inflation rate is. But there was an article in CBS News about this company. What was the name of the company? Let me see if I can find it. Accountable.us, and they did a report on how corporate America, companies like Target, Walmart, Kroger, CVS Health, TJ Maxx, etc., all taking advantage of high inflation as an excuse to raise prices. And when they raise these prices, they pay more dividends to their stockholders. They're giving perks and raises to CEOs. All the while, people are struggling with inflation, and they're having to pay more to help these companies get rich. Yeah. Some companies are pretty open about it, but others try to put a spin on it. But yeah, check this article out. It's on CBS.com on their website. The Russian bankers reportedly want to outlaw non-custodial crypto wallets. The thing with traditional bankers is that some of them have a hard time understanding what crypto is, and that they don't understand that not your keys, not your coins, and they want to keep things the way it has been under their control, so they can charge ridiculous fees and have control over your money. And so these Russian bankers are wanting to outlaw our ability to hold crypto in our own wallets. Think about that for a second. And I highly doubt Russians, central bankers and bankers, are the only ones thinking this. It's pretty much making use of our money is how banks make their money. So when we're able to self-custody our own crypto, our own money, that puts them in with the dinosaurs. Chinese lockdowns will create shocks to American supply chain. That's not news. But articles like this continue to top the headlines as China continue with their lockdowns. Shanghai's is a big factor. But when people are being locked down, they can't work. There are no one helping with import-export, getting deliveries out and across the ocean. So, yeah, we're all gonna feel it. We're feeling some of it now, but we're gonna feel more of it in the coming weeks and months. Speaking of China conducts military drills around Taiwan in response to U.S. Leaders visiting Taiwan. I sometimes feel like the human race hasn't made a lot of progress, even though we say that we're very intelligent and we're so advanced. It doesn't seem so sometimes. China's first quarter GDP beats expectation to grow 4.8%. I believe the expectation was around 4.4%, increase from a year ago. So, and that's good. That's good for them. I think, having faced the challenges that they're facing over there with COVID, but I think we're gonna see more. We'll see how future months will look if they continue to uphold their zero COVID policy. you're probably wondering why the hell does this guy talk about China so much. China is a big thing, what is that called? What's the word? China is one of my top areas to focus on as far as macro environments. I think there's a lot of variabilities with China's economy. Their commercial real estate, their residential real estate, their economy. I think it's connected to, or not. I know it's connected to the rest of the world. So what happens in China is really important to the rest of the world. There's a really cool article from CNN Business News. They talked about 3 reasons why Shanghai's lockdown matters to the global economy. You probably can guess them already. Shanghai, major city with a lot of people, and with it being locked down, it's going to impact the financial market. It's going to impact the import-export market, and people are frustrated over there. Trade and logistics. Shanghai accounts for 3.8% of China's GDP. That's small, but it has much higher share, 10.4% of China's trade with the rest of the world. So that's going to be a major factor. Manufacturing and technology is the third one. The greater Shanghai area, which includes Kunshan, and several eastern cities, is a major manufacturing hub for industries, from cars to semiconductors. So, and other car manufacturers in other countries like Volkswagen, General Motor, they have factories over there. Tesla has a factory in Shanghai. So manufacturing and technology, totally going to be impacted. So China is a big deal. And yes, I mentioned supply chain and freight. It's going to pile up. And if you think you're struggling with getting some products now, it's going to be worse. The quarantine situation in China continues to be a challenge for their residents. They complained about 20-hour lights, no hot showers, their inability to get food to some of these residents. And so keep an eye out for China for the rest of 2022, for the rest of 2023. They're gonna be a major factor. Let's dig into some of the charts here. We got the crypto market, a little bit mixed today. Last night it was pretty bad. It was blood red. Bitcoin was down to 38.5K last night. After I released my weekly analysis, where I talked about how the indicators are showing bearish pressure a lot. However, historically, the ascending support line could be pushing Bitcoin up. So it was 2 mixed signals, and it dipped back to the 38K zone, and then right at market opening, and we'll take a look at that in a moment here. It popped and then pulled some of the market with it. So you can see here, Bitcoin 40.8K, up 1.61, dominance 41.14, Ethereum 3K roughly, dominance is 19.39. We got more reds than we do at the greens here. Luna's still under 90, but up for the day, 89.13. So mixed bag. Market cap for the crypto market, $1.88 trillion, up 0.25, a quarter of a point there. And we continue to be under 2 trillion. The U.S. equities markets, pretty red to muted red with some areas of greens here. Nvidia is up 2.47. Semiconductors is doing well today. We got auto manufacturer. They're about 50 green and red. Tesla's up 1.96. Energy is okay. It's some green, some muted greens. and the other green area would be financials. As far as banks diversified, we got JP, Wells Fargo, BAC. They're the bright greens over here. But otherwise, it's mostly red to muted red. And we'll look at the trends for them soon. And something to keep in mind also is that this week and next week, a lot of companies will be releasing their earnings, and that could impact the stock market. Let's take a look at the trading view chart here, 30-minute time frame, about 7 days worth of data in each vertical column. Let's go over to the watch list here. You can see that Nasdaq index is up 0.13. SPX and DJI, they're both down for the day. And VIX is 22.17. That's down negative 2.3% for the within the last 24 hours. Dixie is over 100. It's at 100.82. That's up 0.32%. The U.S. 10-year yield 2.857. Let's see what else. Oil is still over $100, 103.72, and that's down. What is that? 0.52. Gold is down. Silver is down. Euro it's pretty flat with the dollar. Pound is pretty flat with the dollar. The dollar is stronger than the yen, so gives you an idea about what's happening there. Let's go over to the U.S. market trend lines here. We see that at market opening here, most of the weekend, Bitcoin was crabbing sideways, then took a big dip here to roughly, like I mentioned, 38.5K, and then right at market opening popped. So this has the pop has a lot to do with the equities market and the correlation with it. But so let's take a look down here. The Nasdaq index here, you can see it opened and it went just pretty choppy. It's like they don't know what to make of what's going on in the market, so it went choppy. Same thing with SPX, open and went choppy, and then the Dow DJI, same thing, open and went choppy. But if we take a look at a 7-day trend, it's still down on all three, with the DJI somewhat more sideways. As far as the Dixie, 7-day continued trend up. The aftermarket opening, it popped a little. It popped. Do you see that? So the negative correlation between Dixie and Bitcoin did not hold. So something's going to give soon. I would say Bitcoin's going to give, because the Dixie usually doesn't give. The U.S. 10-year yield, 7 days, still on an increase. It's very similar movement as the Dixie, because they're somewhat tied together, but they don't always move alike. Let's go over. Positive correlation between Bitcoin and Nasdaq and S&P 500 did not hold. Let's go over to the European market here. We have the UK 100. In the last several sessions, they're recovering, and in the current session, it shows recovery with a little bit of choppiness, and we can see that here too with the DAX and the CAC, very similar. Stoke 600, similar. Over here in Australia, right here, last couple sessions, they're really nice recovery there. But and in the 7-day period, they're moving along. But it seems like they're closed in this last period. Nikkei 225, we see that they in the last period they opened down, and they went kind of choppy, and then went up slightly to finish. For the KOSPI from South Korea, mostly sideways still. Hang Seng HSI the last couple of days is slight trend up, but it's still an overall trend down for the 7-day. The Shanghai Shenzhen CSI 300 slightly down on the last day, but they closed with a slight recovery. But 7-day period still slightly down. So what does this look like? It looks like a mess is what it looks like. We see some recovery in the short, like intraday. U.S. market really mixed. Dollars, the DXY is still really strong. The fact that it's over 100 is pretty impressive. Yeah, that's pretty impressive. Dollar's holding strong, and as long as the dollar continues to gain, Bitcoin's going to give. So more than likely, Bitcoin might drop down a little bit. But we'll take a look at the indicators in our specific Bitcoin analysis and see what's gonna happen there. Over Asia and Australia, I think it's pretty much like on average, it's pretty much sideways. Sideways here, sideways here, sideways here. So, yeah, it's mixed. It's mixed. And this week and next week's I feel it's gonna be choppy and also very horizontal, crabbing sideways. So, that's about it. I appreciate your time. Sorry about this late report today. I had some really important stuff to take care of. So feel free to smash the like, ring my bell, hit subscribe. And I have Bitcoin's analysis next, and also Matic Monday, and for the weekly analysis there. And I'll see you in those videos. Smash that like, ring my bell, hit subscribe, and share your thoughts. Peace.